I'm Heather Rodriguez. I'm a natural fertility specialist, and my team and I help couples who are preparing for conception and those overcoming fertility issues. So welcome to today's Fertility Scope. How are you guys doing? We're going to talk about exercise and fertility because this is actually a pretty common question that we get when people are preparing for pregnancy. We get a ton of emails about exercise and fertility because when people are preparing, they don't want to do anything that can harm them. So I'm here to say that it is actually very rare that exercise is going to have a negative impact. The couple of cases where it might is if you're training for a marathon. We have had people, it's awesome to sweat it out, exactly. We have had people email us and say, I'm trying to conceive, I'm starting my trying to conceive journey, but I'm also training for a marathon because it's something they want to fit in before pregnancy, which I totally get it. You do fertility yoga and light exercise just in case you're pregnant. Having tubal reversal in March, what is good to take? Tubal reversal, you just want to prepare for pregnancy because you're getting the reversal. You just want to make sure your body's healthy and ready for pregnancy. So general preparation. You think fertility is impossible without a healthy movement relationship. So yeah, and there's 2 points to that, Frank. That's an awesome point. So the first one is, people contact us and they'll want to try something extreme because they're going to get pregnant soon, and they're like, I want to get this marathon in before pregnancy. And that is one area where I would suggest not at this time. Do your marathon, but then, you do your preparing stuff, do your marathon, but then start to try to conceive after that. Because something like that extreme is very taxing on the body. 5K, that's not going to be a big deal. 3-mile race, not a big deal. But a marathon is very, very serious. So, or like training for a fitness competition. We've had some people ask us about that because you're going to be cutting calories. Anything that's really extreme, we want to stay away from. But 95% of you guys out there, 95% of exercise is going to be beneficial. And the reason is, I'm sure many of you who've been on my scopes before could answer this, is because of circulation. Increasing circulation is so important to fertility and for reproductive health that it's so simple, but so many people, thank you guys, so many people don't think about it. We're sitting all day, we're kind of stagnant in our lifestyles compared to how we used to be back in the day, hundreds or thousands of years ago. So exercise is going to be fantastic for increasing circulation, but man, is it good for stress reduction. Seriously, if I don't work out, I'm like ready to kill my husband. It's perfect for marriage health. You did a consultation with Maria, suggested do exercise 5 to 6 days a week. Exactly. Extreme fitness is not necessarily equal to healthy. Oh my gosh, I can agree with you with that, Frank. With that. Yeah, anyways. So exercise is going to be fantastic for increasing circulation, but also for your mental sanity and stress. I know that sometimes it's hard to find time to exercise, but it's such a stress relieving exercise. Sitting all day you think that's caused your health issues, can running, etc., cause miscarriages. For the majority of people, no. If you're someone who does have a loose cervix, you have a weak, thank you so much for sharing, Frank. You have a weak cervix, you've had recurrent miscarriages, then, you might just want to lay off. I wouldn't say, oh, running's going to cause miscarriages. I know personally women who've run into their 9-month of pregnancy. They've been runners their whole lives, not something to start as soon as you're pregnant. But I don't think it would necessarily cause it unless you have an issue already happening there with a loose cervix, which you got to be totally careful or a weak uterus or a situation going on. And or spinning, all that stuff would be great. Yeah. I couldn't imagine when I was 9 months pregnant, I could barely walk, let alone run, but everybody's different. So exercise can be great, wonderful for stress reduction, wonderful for increasing circulation. I just wanted to jump on and see where you guys thought about it. You attend the gym twice a week, that's great. Whatever is working for you. And it depends on what type of exercise that you do too, for how much you have to work out. I personally, this probably is going to surprise you guys, but I love weightlifting. And I love doing high intensity interval training because my cardio is done in like 5 minutes. So yoga is fantastic as well. You can spin. It really just depends on what you like. Find something you like. I have a ton of girlfriends who are into Pilates. I like Pilates. Pilates is great. Just a little bit boring for me. I need something that's more challenging. Someone loves Zumba. I was in a Zumba for a while too. How many days a week? I would say every single day if you're walking. Pelvic health is an important prerequisite for pregnancy, definitely. Oh, thanks for inviting, Tiffany. Nice to see you. So find something you like. This is not something that's like a sentence, It's like you can actually really enjoy it. After the first 2 weeks, same like with diet, it just takes those first 2 weeks to kind of get over the slump, get over the soreness, get over it being new and you not being able to do half the things in class. But then once you get going, you're going to realize how good you feel and how much more energy you have. So don't be afraid of exercise when you're trying to conceive. So that's cool. I'm glad you guys know what's going on with exercise, how important it is, but make sure that you enjoy it. It's something to, like, my husband's really into paddleboarding. I think paddleboarding is boring, but I know it's like the rage right now. So if that's your thing, then do it. Something else is just to also get out and walk. And I'm like sitting here seeing myself on the screen talking to myself right now. So don't think that I'm like, oh, I'm perfect and you guys need to do all this. Getting outside and getting fresh air and moving is just huge for well-being and for general health. And this is kind of like basic stuff, but I like to be reminded once in a while. So I just came on to remind myself. All right, guys. Well, I'll stay on for a quick Q&A. If you guys, it can be totally off topic of exercise and fertility. Yeah, 3 cheers for paddleboarding, 5 cheers for walking. Awesome. Thank you, Frank. Exercise can help follicular to rupture. I don't know. How do you know if your liver needs cleansing? I think everyone's liver needs support. One of the things that are signs that your liver could use some support would be breaking out. If you have a lot of acne, if you have hormonal imbalances, if you are having trouble digesting your food, if you are constipated, if your periods are dark, cloudy, purple, dark, sorry, Frank, black, those types of colors. Is donating blood while trying to conceive, is donating blood bad while trying to conceive? I wouldn't think so unless you're on fertility medications or you are a Rogram negative. Like, I can't donate blood because I've had a Rogram shot. I'm A negative. A scope on ovulation. I can. I did a scope a while back. You can go to youtube.com/Heather, and there's one I did on how to tell when you're ovulating and what to do if you're not, but I can definitely talk again about ovulation. Egg Health Kit is designed for older women. There might be a couple, RH negative, me too. So if you've had a Rogram shot, you can't donate blood. I don't know if you've had a Rogram shot. I've had 2 because of my, or 3, because of my miscarriages and pregnancy. Best time to start the fertility cleanse is right after your period ends. That's how the instructions work. Ovulation scope. Okay, we have another vote. Great. You are welcome. Recently diagnosed with endo. Suggestions for helping reverse and maintain pain naturally. So there's a couple steps to that. SB 520. There's a couple steps to that, what you're going to want to do. The first thing I would say right now, because it's such a big topic, is go to naturalfertilityinfo.com and type in endometriosis into the search. And what you'll find is there's a guide that we've created that has your step-by-step of what you need to do, because you need to approach diet, you need to approach herbs, because we've got a couple layers here. You've got pain that you're going through, occasional pain. You've got excess endometrial tissue growing. You have excess estrogen possibly making that tissue grow and aggravate. So there's a lot of different layers to it. So it's not something I could say kind of as a Q&A answer, but it is a future scope. I have it, if you saw my scope list, I don't want to show you guys so it's surprised, but it is on my list. I have to, you guys, miss your questions and then I feel really bad. My cycle varies from 29 to 30 days. Is that bad? I think 29 to 35 days is fine. Your luteal phase is what's most important, is the length of time from ovulation until you get your period. That needs to be 12 days or more. Do I think cheap ovulation tests work? I think so, but OPK tests drive me nuts because the line has to be the same as the test line. So like the line that's just always there and then the line after you use it need to be the same color. So you're sitting there looking at the test. You're like, is this positive? There's a faint line. I don't know. Is the line going to get darker? Like, it's this whole thing. So I like Clear Blue Easy monitors. Vitex and progesterone can change your cycle length. Yes. So Clear Blue Easy monitors, yes, they're $100, but they will tell you without a doubt, yes or no. And I do recommend taking basal body temperature. I think that's the best way to find out so many things about your fertility. You can find out when you're ovulating, if you might have a hypothyroid issue and should go get your blood tested, if you have a progesterone issue and should go get tested, if you have luteal phase defect. It can tell you so much about your fertility, and it's free because who doesn't have a thermometer in their house, right? Should one be careful with sex in early pregnancy? I don't think so, unless you have a cervical issue. I don't know. Don't do some crazy, what are we talking about? I don't know. Don't do crazy stuff. Yeah, OPK test will drive you crazy. Get a Clear Blue Easy monitor, and then it just tells you. I personally can't stand OPK tests because we have people email us all the time. Is this a positive OPK? Is this a positive OPK? Thoughts on DHEA for a 40-year-old with diminished ovarian? So DHEA, I know a lot of people like to use. We personally don't use it with our clients because it's something, DHEA can turn into multiple hormones in the body, not just estrogen, not just progesterone. They can turn into testosterone. It can turn into other things. It's a precursor to many hormones. So when you're just taking DHEA in the body, you don't have control over what it's going to turn into. So we always suggest if you're doing DHEA to work with a practitioner who uses that regularly so they can test you and see what's happening, because we would hate for you to do DHEA and then your testosterone's going up, or your hormones that you do not want to go up are. So we personally don't use it because we work with people not in person. We're working with everyone online. So for me, DHEA is kind of like a loose cannon. Yeah, DHEA. Yeah. What day of the cycle should progesterone and estrogen be checked? It depends on the type of test you're having and your practitioner. I have fertility mucus, low times in cycle. Why? I don't understand your question. There was something I was ranting about a second ago that was a good question, but I think I passed by it. Oh well. I think it was fertility charting. I don't know. Something to do with fertility, right? What's the best prenatals you recommend with folate in it? I would say Baby and Me, because it's a whole food based multivitamin. So Baby and Me multivitamin, that's what we carry because it's whole food based. Pretty sure, yeah, it's folate, not folic acid. From Mega Food, yes ma'am. My favorite omega-3 is going to be cod liver oil. I love it from the food source. So that's going to be, we do fertility cod liver oil capsules. I also love hemp seeds. So if you add that to your diet, that's a rich source of omega-3, as is chia seeds for our veggies out there. I'm not into the fermented cod liver oil. I know it's a big thing in the Weston Price community. Everyone's in this fermented cod liver oil, but I'm all about compliance and people using the products long enough to get results. And fermented cod liver oil is the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten. It's horrible. Some people can do it. It's fermented fish oil. Can you have fertility mucus if you're not ovulating? Yes. Yeah, Frank. So for me, it's like, yeah, it might be like the ultimate, like, oh, this is going to be the absolute best, but I cannot, if I can't take it, and I take some nasty stuff, I take so many herbs every day, then the people who I'm educating and helping, and this is like the first time they might be doing something for their health, they're going to think, they're going to think I'm crazy, basically. So I don't go for the fermented cod liver oil, and it's so expensive. It's like unbelievably expensive. So yeah, so for omega-3, I'm into the cod liver oil, and veggie sources, chia and hemp seed is going to be fantastic. What do you guys use for essential fatty acids? I'd love to know. Can you be ovulating and have no, yes, you can be ovulating and not have any cervical mucus, yes. Yeah, it's a hard entry level sale. You have to be pretty hardcore. You have to be cooking liver. I mean, anytime I mention liver on here, everyone freaks out. But you have to, there's kind of some things you should graduate to before that. What herbs would be good to help with tubes after reversal? So after reversal, I would focus on just preparing the body in general. Because there's obviously, you're going to get a tubal reversal, so we can't do that naturally. You have to go in and get surgery for that. So after that, I would look at helping to increase circulation, possibly systemic enzymes, just to make sure inflammation is low and that there is no additional scar tissue. But generally, people are pretty good to go after tubal reversal. I would just prepare in general for getting pregnant. Your favorite probiotic? God, what is the brand? I will answer that sex question in just a second. The brand for probiotics, I really like this fermented coconut probiotic. I can't remember the name right now, but it's a liquid. You take a shot every day. I rotate between different brands because I want different probiotics, and I get a powder and I feed it to my baby, but I don't know it off the top of my head. I have to look in my fridge. What if I ovulated and then week 1 have later? Post that one again. You've had that, the fermented coconut oil, water, water. Never have cervical mucus, only watery and lotion. Like, does that affect me? It can, Tiffany. So yeah, it's at Whole Foods. It's in a glass jar. Cocoa Biotic, I think it might be called. So Tiffany, yeah, so cervical mucus is really important. It's something that, again, I think a lot of people don't think about, but it's extremely important. It is needing to be a egg white consistency. When you break open an egg, it's kind of very mucousy and stretchy, but doesn't break. That is important to help the sperm to get to the egg and to also help the sperm to survive on its long, long journey. I think people think that pregnancy happens instantly after sex. It doesn't. It actually takes days in some cases for the sperm to go and meet the egg, depending on when you're ovulating. So that's how, if you guys ever heard of people picking the sex of their baby, they're doing that based on when they have sex and when they're ovulating, because the male sperm will swim longer, but the female sperm swim faster. So if you want to have a girl, I don't know how true this isn't like scientifically based, but if you want to have a girl, you do it right like at ovulation or directly after ovulation, because they swim faster and they'll meet with the egg quicker. But if you want a boy, you'd actually have sex a day before ovulation, and the slow guys will eventually get to the egg, and then you'd have a boy. So that's kind of the theory behind it. What can I use to increase cervical mucus? Great question. Yeah, they work hard. They are hard workers, definitely. It's amazing. If you've ever seen footage of sperm snapping their way there. Increasing cervical mucus. L-arginine is fantastic. Evening primrose oil is fantastic. Those are our two go-tos, and they work pretty darn quickly. I know some people use, so you would increase it by using something called L-arginine, but don't use it if you have herpes. And then using evening primrose oil, and you use those two together, and then by the next day you should be having some results from that. You also need to be drinking plenty of water. So it's something that you can help to assist with pretty easily. But you need it. You need it, girl. You need it, Tiffany. Yeah. Excellent. So you've got Vitex and acupuncture. So this might be a next good step for you. It's a good step for anyone who does not. And some people, that's just kind of their regular state. So they might need assistance in that way. What was the sex and ovulation question? Yes, evening primrose oil. The thing with evening primrose oil is you don't want to take it all month long when you're currently trying to conceive, because it can stimulate the uterus. So you want to just use it very specifically for that. Thank you. Should you have sex before ovulation? How many days before, how many after? Yes, you should have sex before ovulation. It depends on the state of your partner's sperm. If he has a stellar sperm count, you can have sex every day. If he has on average or below, then you want to have sex every other day. So the egg can live for a period of time. So you want to have sex the day before ovulation, and then either later in the day or the day after ovulation. So if he has low sperm, then you're going to want to do every other day so that the count can be a little bit stronger. So do you know when you ovulate? Do you have a way of telling that you're ovulating or not? Because that's going to be really important with timing for him. And then is he taking steps for increasing low sperm count? Because there's definitely things that you can do. So you do know when you ovulate. So you're going to want to have sex the day before ovulation. And then the next day would be fantastic. But I wouldn't do it every single day or multiple times a day if there's low sperm count. Probably completely off topic. Oh, I missed it. Around 14 days. So you're kind of textbook. Yeah. So day 13, day 15. And then adding maca, adding, carnitine, adding MH5. There's definitely things you can do to help with that sperm count. We've had such cool results where test results come back after 3-4 months, and it's totally changed around. I've ovulated, then 1 week later have fertility mucus again. What does that mean? Some people have mucus longer, in their cycle than just when they're ovulating, but I'm not quite exactly sure what that would mean. Majority of people are going to have it right during fertility, during their fertile time. How are you verifying that you're ovulating? How do you know for sure? Increasing sperm health and sperm count is going to be maca, MH5, which is my formula, MH5, L-carnitine. Those are kind of my go-tos, and then also antioxidants are going to be always helpful to make sure the DNA is intact and healthy as can be. Those would be my main focuses. It depends on how on board he is. If you only take one thing, do MH5, and you can just put that in water or juice. Like, he won't even. Super easy, no pills to swallow or anything if he's only going to do one thing. There was another question I missed. Let's see. Where are all my T's? Ovulate for 3 days, is that normal? There might be. How are you finding that out, Savory Girl? I was just curious if you knew anything about carnitinus. I have no idea what that is. So my answer is no. I guess I drank them. I'm like, where's my tea? I drink it all. Okay, so is that the only way that you're telling us from your cervical mucus? You're welcome. Let me know how it goes. So cervical mucus, is a fantastic way. Maca and Vitex can definitely be taken together. They're a fantastic couple. Thing with cervical mucus is you can have it and you cannot be ovulating. So I like there to be multiple signs of ovulation. So cervical mucus is going to be one. It's definitely a good sign because that is a possibility or probability, but you'll have cervical mucus for a longer period of time than you are ovulating. Fertility charting is another fantastic way because then you can double verify because of the temperature drop that happens that you ovulated. The only bad thing about fertility charting or temperature charting is, you know, after the fact, but you'll start to see a pattern. So cervical mucus happens, temperature drops, it's good to double verify. Oh yeah, fertility smoothies for guys is fantastic, especially with maca in there, putting greens in there, definitely. You could use ovulation sticks, yes. Those might drive you crazy, and you might need to use them a couple times a day, but that would be another way too. OPK, Clear Blue Easy is kind of a double whammy, so if you want to do that. I find it hard for me to take my basal body temperature and use cervical mucus because of my sleep pattern. Clear Blue Easy Monitor would be my suggestion. You don't have to do that at the exact same time every day. I hear ya. I'm like that too. And she loves ovulation sticks. If you're good at ovulation sticks and they work for you, do it. Clear Blue Easy also, you don't have to buy the $100 machine. They also have sticks that will tell you. So if you're not doing, if you're like, I can't spend $100 on that little machine, you can get their sticks that will tell you yes or no, or I think it's a smiley face. I'm not sure the verbiage on the stick, but it makes it very clear instead of having to look at the lines and see what's happening. Yeah. Past couple months, I've only bled 1 to 2 days. Is that bad for conceiving during after? So it's not that it's like, oh, that's bad for conceiving, what's going on with you. It's more that there might be a deficiency there and you want to build up your blood. You want to have a cycle that's at least 4 days long, that's full flowing, that doesn't have clots, that's a nice red color because that's a sign of the state of your blood and your circulation. So there's only 2 days of a cycle happening and it's very, very light and scanty and spotty. We want to actually build that up because that's a sign of deficiency or that's a sign of needing to nurture and build up your system. I don't know if your acupuncturist is also blending herbs for you, but you want to look into something such as Rejuvaflow or Dong Quai. It's an excellent herb for that. Some things to help to build up the blood and build up circulation so that your cycle is richer. There's more energy going in that direction. Yeah, so you're using herbs from them too, so I'm sure they probably have you on Dong Quai. Yeah, Synthroid's an interesting, it's not, I don't really completely consider medication. It's more just like a straight up hormone. Check with your doctor, but yes, generally it can. Clots mean, okay, sorry Frank if you're still on here. Clots are where you have clots in your menstrual blood. They're like little balls of tissue that are very dark. Yeah, so it's something that happens for women during their monthly cycle, and that can kind of tell you some things about what's going on with your body. So we do talk about periods a lot. Just because you can tell so much from your body is constantly speaking to you. So if you listen up, how do you get rid of them? So part of it, well, it's going to be a multi-step approach because that's not just like the issue. You got Clear Blue Advanced Digital Test for like right on. And you hate clots. You're so funny, Lauren. We need a shirt that says, I hate clots. So it's a multi-step approach, right? Okay, so there's clotting that's happening. So you kind of need to break it down. So there's clotting that's happening. That's like the body speaking, but there's a couple steps before it. So that means there's a heavy period. There's some stagnation going on. So we want to increase circulation. We want to see what else is happening. How long is your cycle? Oh, you're like, I know what clots are. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's not that it's bad. It's just showing your body is saying that kind of something is going on. So clots are something that's normal, but once they get to a certain size, you definitely want to address it. So you increasing circulation, drinking more water, supporting hormonal balance, you will see a difference with that. That's just like one tiny little sign of something else that's going on. Really cloudy, but drank tons of water and cleared up the next day. Fantastic. And some people, it's because of hydration. What part of cycle does one take evening Primrose oil? Thanks. That's why I'm working out trying to circulate blood. Right on. So evening Primrose oil, you want to take up until ovulation and discontinue during your ovulation from day 14 until you get your period. Or if you're pregnant, then of course you wouldn't take it. And if you're not actively trying to conceive, you can take it all month long. Someone asked about fibroids and surgery. Depends on the size. Some fibroids go away on their own. Some will definitely can be supported. We can help support the body with herbs and diet. Some are so large once they're getting to like grapefruit, you know, like they start naming it on pieces of fruit, that they might have to be surgically removed. So it's not black and white like everything. There is sometimes when you want to, you know, you might need to get it removed, but you still have to focus on lifestyle changes. And I did a scope a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you were on it about fibroids, but you can go to youtube.com/Heather, Hethir, and you can find that scope. And it was just about fibroids. But basically it was like, yes, you can get the surgery, but you still have to make the lifestyle changes so they don't grow back. Getting lows only this month on, I don't know what the acronym is, CBEFM. I don't know what that means. And they can return after surgery. So you're still going to want to take the same approach, which would be change to diet. There's herbs, reducing estrogens in your lifestyle. Yes, you can use castor oil while trying to conceive externally, but I do not suggest it after ovulation. Like, say you're trying to conceive this month, once you ovulate, I would discontinue massage and castor oil packs. I would do it the first part of the cycle. Oh, clear blue, easy for, okay. Well, that acronym was much easier than typing all that out, wasn't it? So you were getting lows. Yeah, so that means you didn't have your little smiley face peak. What do you think about marjoram herb for PCOS? I have not used it for PCOS. I use it more for sleeping, for helping people to sleep. So, I don't know. What did you learn about it? Get my period low times a month, 2 times a month. What do you mean? So are one of those times spotting? Is it a full on like 5 days, you know, situation, or is one of them you're spotting, or is both that you're spotting? Yeah, so lows on, so full both times. I would just check in with your gynecologist, let her know, or him, know what's going on, just to double check what's going on with you before you would start something, because we want to make sure that's generally not common to have 2 full periods in a 30-day period of time. So I would definitely talk with your gynecologist first to find out, and then if they are like, this is what's happening, they say it's normal to have 2 periods a month, okay. You know, give us an email, or I'm sorry, send us an email, go to naturalfertilityshop.com, click contact us. We'll see what we can dig up for you, but I personally, if that was happening to me, I wouldn't take normal as an answer. But if you're spotting, that's something totally different. But if you're full on 5 days, full on period, twice a month, yeah. Someone was saying that they're trying for their number 2, and that's frustrating. Yeah, and listen to your gut too. How does that feel to you? How does that information feel to you? Study was talking about marjoram for PCOS, decreases androgen and improves insulin. Interesting. How cool would that be? How cool would that be? We use saw palmetto for that. Saw palmetto is one of the herbs we use to help to balance out the androgens. We use a couple other different herbs. Lorraine's going for number 3. Yes, please email us, and we can so we can ask you questions, because it's not just the thing with natural health and helping the body to balance out. It's not just like, here's my question, here's my answer. Like, there's so many steps, and it depends on what's going on with you. So we'd like to ask you some questions. Yeah, I know, number 3. I can't wait. I'm about to start Harmonize, and my husband will start MH5. Can't wait till everybody's, woo! All right, guys, I'm a total dork if you haven't noticed already. Remember, for those of you who've been on the scopes for a while, we've been getting our pregnancy announcements, and I said I was going to get like a whistle or something silly. I got this, and it's a rattle made from like Amazonian seeds, and families in the Amazon make these so that they can support their families, and I thought this is a great way to celebrate. So this is our new celebratory rattle. So there you go. I got one for my baby too. So my first cycle was 30 days, and now I'm down 20 days. Is it positive? That's fine. 28 days is textbook. Yeah. I mean, it just depends on what's normal. 30 is fine. Like, some people are perfectly normal on 30. Yeah. Yeah, you should see our team meetings. We had a team meeting 2 weeks ago, and Daylene, our senior herbalist, brought her heart drum and was like playing it during our meeting. I was just like, this is so cool. So yeah, we like to have fun around here. What type of herbal teas would you recommend while trying to conceive? So are you talking about like just for enjoyment or for helping trying to conceive? Thanks, guys. 28 days. So the thing with 28 days is, are you getting enough time for implantation, fertilization, implantation to occur? So once someone's talking about 26 days, I want to know from day they're ovulating until their period, how long is that period of time? Do you know, Savory Girl? Because luteal phase defect is something to be concerned about if your cycle is too short, because then you're just never getting the opportunity for implantation to occur. I know, so many doulas on staff. Natalie's going to be attending a birth in March here. I never tried to conceive my first baby. He's 16, but now try. Yeah. Herbs for heavy menstrual flow. Ladies mantle. So heavy, where do I go to watch past periscopes? Catch.me /Heather, HETHR, or YouTube. What was that other question? Darn it, I'm squirreling now. I'm squirreling. Please repost that question. Is heavy menstrual, herbs for heavy menstruation. There are a couple different things. We've had really good success with a product called Slow Flow. But in addition, needing to look at the outside factors that are causing it, but that does help. Where are you that you have moose in my backyard? I'm in Colorado. And there is moose like now every day, like walking up the street. They just kind of took over. And I live in town. I don't live like in the boonies. Yeah. Is 8 days in heavy period of normal? That is not textbook. No. That's long. 5 days is kind of general. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm super squirrely, Christina. Fibroids causing, yes, fibroids definitely can, as well as endometriosis. Excess estrogen can be a situation. Also, well, I do eat meat, and I think animal protein, for those of you who do, is a great source of food from the right sources. If you're having very heavy menstrual cycles, try going vegetarian for a week or two, and you will actually start seeing a difference in that, because the less protein you eat, the less clots and the less heavy of a cycle you will have. So I would suggest cleansing, juicing, actually pulling back on animal products. And it totally helps. It's something that we look at for endometriosis. We look at for fibroids, for clotty cycles. Someone was just asking about slow swimmers. Again, we're going to want to look at sperm health. So NH5, L-carnitine is something that we look at, maca, and also antioxidants to make sure that they're functioning properly. Yeah, there's no moose. My son would freak out if there was a moose. And he's so cute because he says moose. It's like a 10 consonant word for him. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, any last questions before we jump off? It's already, I gotta get back to work. Yeah, for long and heavy periods, it's not something that's going to be, lifelong, but I would say a lighter diet, a lighter, cooler diet. So something like high in raw foods, pulling back a little bit on the animal proteins, eating a little bit more vegetarian. Not saying you have to go full force, but you will see a difference pretty quickly with it. So that's one way, definitely, to do it. And then there are herbs that can help you as well. But diet's always your foundation. All right, guys, you guys are awesome. Have a great day. All right, well, love you guys. I will see you later. Have an awesome day.